Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the 13th Dimension. I'm your host, Nick Muley. Jeremy will most likely not be showing up for tonight as he is currently involved being made out in Wildwood Sanitarium in Salamanca, New York. So obviously he might still pop in possibly, but most likely it's just going to be me. It's going to be my first time actually really hosting the show. And of course, tonight we have a very special guest. We have Mr. Rick McCallum. Rick, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing really well. It's been quite a crazy weekend, almost a weekend here in Michigan for the Michigan Paracon. I've been all over the place, of course, seeing a lot of different, big names in the paranormal field. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Paracons generally are really fun.
Oh, yeah. And this is one of the biggest ones I've seen in a long time. So it hasn't left me the least bit disappointed. So
yeah, I was there about 7 or 8 years ago. It was pretty good setup.
Yeah, it definitely is. This is my first time, obviously. So this is all new for me.
Well, enjoy it, man. Enjoy it.
Oh, I have been, trust me. And we still got one more day to go. So there's more to come, that's for sure. But anyways, though, Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I just was recently paroled. Actually, I've been ghost hunting now for over 50 years. I started a ghost hunting group with Kane Hodder, who's more famous for playing Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movies, and Ari Mihailoff, who's famous for playing Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And I myself have been in over 30 horror movies and have done over 75 movie and TV projects. So, we're all basically, everybody thinks Hollywood is about where we live, but we live in 3 different states. The Hollywood is about the movie connection between us and the ghost hunting. So that's where our name comes from. Hollywood.
Oh,
Nick, I think you froze on me.
Sorry, Rick. I'm having some connection. Yeah, sorry. I've been having connection issues tonight, so I do apologize to freeze up. So. Oh, can you hear me or?
Yeah, I can hear you. I bet you're still frozen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm having connection issues. I should have addressed that before we got started. Shoot, hang on a second. I'm having issues right now. Shoot. I don't know.
It's frozen?
Yeah, it's frozen right now.
Hold on.
I don't want
to. Yeah, right. Type in the menu the chat.
Hang on.
Nick, one of the best things to try is just sign out and re-sign back in again.
Yeah. Oh, it's StreamYard.
There we go. Sorry, Rick. Again.
Much better. Your
connection
picture's better.
It was really going out. So I do apologize. It may happen again, but I'll get it corrected very quickly. It's just the connection here. So
Okay.
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Wait, you do know when I'm doing stunts and movies and things like that and stunt coordinating, we have to do it more than once. So
right.
So things happen.
Yeah. Rick, I actually have my other friend Ricky, who sometimes
meet
has
you.
helped out with the network. He's actually going to be helping me out with questions today too, so he was able
Hi,
to make
Ricky.
it.
How's it going?
Good, man. Can't complain too much. I just got back from Scotland, where I was there for a month. So that's my home away from home. So here's what I got to say. Thumbs up to everything.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you at some point. So what was your whole thing that you did at Scotland? I think it was a couple of weeks ago, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, it was maybe a little longer than that, but I was there for a 9-day tour. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that we were supposed to do, we didn't get to do. So, but we did get to see some really cool stuff. Scotland never disappoints. We did get to do, we were with another streaming service that was filming us at Balgony Castle, and we got some amazing interaction in this chapel, where we asked 5 questions to a spirit who was interacting with Cheryl Plum, the girl that hunts with us. And supposedly this entity really hated women. And I don't know why, but I just got the feeling that he didn't hate women, right?
Right.
I just seemed like he was just lonely, get away from me, because the guy was actually deformed. And I figured that he was probably not treated real well by the girls, right? So, they might have been treated him nice, but still he didn't get anywhere. Let's put it that way. So Cheryl went in and she was talking, and a little bit later I came in with my FLIR. Didn't see anything on the FLIR. And then Mikey Thompson, who's one of our hunters, and Greg Stewart, who's with Scottish Paranormal, which I also happen to be a member of Scottish Paranormal. He came in, we started asking questions, and we got 5 answers in a row that kind of pretty much proved that he was just lonely. He really connected with Cheryl. We asked him, what would you do, with Cheryl if you could, right? And
Right.
At first, when we heard it on the playback, people thought he said something really obscene. If you can take a guess at what he said. But I didn't think that's what it said. I said, I don't think it says that. I think it says love her, right? So we listened again. They said, yeah, it does sound like it says love her. So then I asked, I said, if you could come here and hang out with Cheryl, would you be nice to her? And he goes, I will. So we had like 5 answers in a row, and it was just obvious the guy was connecting with her and he was just lonesome. So, it was really kind of a tearjerker, to tell you the truth. Here's this lonely spirit's been there throwing everybody out. He just really wanted a girl to talk to. So Cheryl did a good job of getting him his attention, and and it's actually going to be on the streaming service. So if anybody just follows my page, I'll link it up and they can find it when it comes out.
Well, that's awesome. I definitely would like to see that, when it eventually does come out. So,
yeah. It was actually my favorite place to ghost hunt in Scotland, a place called Balgony Castle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Balgony Castle was amazing.
Have you ever heard of that one before,
What's
Ricky? The castle. Which castle is it called again?
Balgony.
Balgony Castle.
It rings a bell. It does.
Okay. It somewhat does to me. I feel like I have heard of it before, but I haven't.
That's what I'm saying. I just need to temporarily move overseas so I can go explore. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's actually an amazing place.
Yeah, it does. So when you wrote, obviously, I know you wrote a book. Obviously, it was what was the book called again? Or it was Ghosts of Scotland, if I'm correct?
Called Ghosts Believe in Me.
Ghosts Believe in Me. I'm sorry.
And you know how that came about?
I've been all over.
Get it
together.
And Nick, you know how that title came about? It sounds kind of arrogant saying Ghosts Believe in Me. But what had happened, I'd been on a podcast. And I was going to be on for 2 hours. And the first question the guy asked me in a real snarky voice, he goes, "You don't really believe in ghosts, do you?" And I said, "Okay, you want to play tough?" Just inside my head, I said, "No, I don't." And you could just kind of see him go, "Ugh, I got 2 hours to talk to a guy about nothing, right?" And he goes, "You
Yeah.
really don't." I said, "I don't have to. Ghosts believe in me." And so many people wrote in about it. "Ghosts believe in me. That was so cool." So I said, "All right, I got to use that for the title of the book."
Oh shit, we're losing connection again.
You're losing connection?
Yep.
I
You
can
see us,
still
Rick?
see you.
Or
Yeah, I can see you.
This hotel
okay.
Wi-Fi is not
Okay.
that great.
All right, yeah, you froze there for a second, so we can see you now.
Yeah, because we're down to 2 bars. It's not been that great either. The Wi-Fi over here. We're gonna have
Damn.
connection problems.
Damn it! I can't tell. Oh wait, okay, he's still running. He's running. Okay.
I'm just sitting still. You
So
might
I'm
think
sorry,
not-
Rick. Sorry, what was that one more time?
No, I said that that was the reason I called it Ghost Believe in Me, because the guy had been snarky with me and I
Okay.
just busted his chops. And so many people wrote into Facebook saying, "Oh, I love that Ghost Believe in Me." So I said, "Okay, I'm just going to use that for the title because everybody will know it's me after that."
Yeah, that's definitely a good name, I have to admit.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm actually in the middle of writing my second book right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have a particular title for this book?
I do, but it hasn't gone through the process of finding out if anybody else has used it. So there's, I can't say what it is yet, but I hope it is, because it's a pretty good title. But it's, a lot of it's about Scotland. A lot of it's about some of the really weird places I've been and some really bizarre stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it. Brad has a question here. He's asking any advice for fellow investigators.
Yeah, I actually tell this to everybody. Every place I go, I get my name called out just about. Either we catch it on tape or we actually hear it. And people always say, "Well, why do they always call your name out?" And I said, "What did I do when I first got here?" And they said, "Well, you introduced yourself." And I said, "They know my name. I introduced myself." Right? I said, "The other thing that I do is I explain how the equipment works." I'll say I have a K2 meter in my hand. If you come close, all these lights will light up. And I said, "It won't hurt you. Look." And I put it against my face. I said, "I would never put this up against my pretty face if it could hurt you." Right? And yeah. I find that if you try and connect with the spirits on a personal level, that you get a lot farther. Right? But I always introduce yourself. Number one, always explain the equipment, because once they realize how to use it to talk to you, you get more stuff.
Okay. Oh, that I have to agree with you on that. So I can sure understand that in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions or stuff you want to ask, Ricky?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk about the movies.
Okay, so Ricky's ready to talk about the movies already.
What was your favorite movie to work on?
Hatchet 2.
Awesome.
That was Adam Green's series of four movies, and Kane played this deformed character named Victor Crowley. And fortunately, I was fortunate enough to work on all 4 of them, and also to play a part in part 2, in which, if anybody saw it, I'm the guy, one of the 2 guys that gets chainsawed through the crotch and all the way through the top of our head.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like a good time.
Nothing I really aspired to, but hey, it looked great. Yeah, but that was my favorite one, Hatchet 2, because I was in the movie the whole time, and there's it's just fun being around everybody else, because usually I'm either stunt coordinating or assistant coordinator, and I'm usually running around making sure I got the pads and teaching people what they're going to do, so I miss a lot on the set. So, but when you're actually acting, also you get to be around all the time, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I actually have looked up some of the credits. I guess according to what I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, it looks like I counted, actually someone else helped, actually counted with me. thought we counted about over 50 movies you have done in stunt work. So, man, I'm trying to think of a good question to ask involving that. Do you have something? I'm trying to think of something. As far as the stunt work, like what exactly?
I got one.
Yeah, you go ahead, and then I just came up with another. So you go ahead with yours first.
Has there ever been any near misses?
Every show.
Right?
Yeah.
Every show.
There is a reason they use stunt people instead of the actors. Stunt business is dangerous. Okay, no matter how well you plan it out, there's still a chance of just knocking the hell out of yourself, which every stunt guy has. They call it getting slobber knocked because it knocks the slobber right out of you. Right? So, I've had a couple really close ones. There was one on a movie called Project Metal Beast, and Kane was the 7-foot metallic hybrid werewolf, and I was doubling Barry Bostwick, and Kane smacks Barry in the face, boom, and Barry goes flying through the air. And when we were setting it up, Kane goes, "Look, I don't want to go flying, just straight up in the air and land in boxes. Everybody's seen that, but let's think up something really cool." So we were in a water factory, and they had a big steel roll down door, the industrial strength ones where semis come in and stuff. So when nobody was looking, I ran as fast as I could and jumped up and hit it on my side, and it threw me back about 4 feet. I thought, okay, this is good. I got a good idea. I said, "Kane, put the camera over here." Right? This is what are you going to do? I said, "I'm going to put my mini tramp right here. I'm going to run as fast as I can. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to go upside down, fly upside down and backwards, hit that thing, and then come down and land on my side." Well,
wow.
I ran so hard. Well, another part of the story is I looked over and there were 2 young guys talking to Kane because he's already out of his shot because now it's the reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wonder who he's talking to. But anyway, I go running as fast as I can. I hit the mini tramp. I go up in the air. Now I'm up in the air, right? If anybody's got my book, you can see what happened to me in the book. I go flying. I hit exactly where I was aiming, exactly like I wanted to. And I hit it so hard, the door went backwards and I got no kick this way. So I went straight up and down, bam, on my head on the concrete, right? And I knew that when I came down, I was facing the camera. And you don't want to do that because they can tell you're not Barry Bostwick, right? So as soon as I landed, I threw one arm in front of me like this and did like a spin and fell and landed sideways facing away from him, right? So Kano, he goes, "Yeah, that's Rick's old fly through the air, knock the door down, land on his head, and spin like a top trick." So I get up and I'm like, "Hey," right? And he comes up and he goes, one of the people on set goes, "Did that hurt?" I said, "Of course it hurt, you damn fool. I landed on my head on the concrete." Right? But I asked Kane, I said, "Who were those 2 young guys?" He goes, "They wanted to be stuntmen." I said, "Really?" He goes, "After they saw they left." they don't want to do stunts anymore. So yeah,
that must have had to scare the hell out of them.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, because what you're doing is just a dangerous job, and there is a risk to what you're doing.
Right.
You will, you'll fall down, you get bruises, people break bones, people have been killed on the set, so you take every precaution you can, and just, lay it out, as best you can because you don't want anybody getting hurt. So yeah, there's I could tell you so many of them things.
Right.
I can tell you one that happened to Kane. He was working on a soap opera, and it's in his thing To Hell and Back, his documentary. He runs out and he was supposed to jump up and grab the skid rail on a helicopter and grab it with one hand and go up in the air about 20 feet and they come back down, right? Now, this is in downtown Los Angeles where the skyscrapers are, right? So Kane comes running out. The thing starts going up. He jumps up and he grabs it with one hand. And it takes off and it starts flying around downtown. And he's hanging on by one hand. He's not strapped in. There's no safety things. And he's hanging on and hanging on. And they said they were just going to go up and come right back down. So finally, when it came in, if I remember the story correctly, because I wasn't there, he got about 10 feet from, when they're coming into land, you just like going, smashed into the ground. But stuff like that, I mean, what do you do in that case other than just hang on like, the best you can? So
Right.
things like that, that's part of the stunt business.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, the way how I've heard it, it's like if you're going to be doing this kind of stunt work, it's like you're going to probably get hurt out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
it's
definitely
okay
see it's a dangerous job.
It's okay to get hurt because what you're doing, even if you do it right, it's going to hurt. Like when you're doing stair falls, you're bashing off stairs. You're still going to hurt, but you don't want to get injured. And there's a difference. I mean, you don't want to break any bones. You don't want to do that. It's okay taking a beating, but you don't want to break anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So what exactly got you into doing stunt work?
Well, there's a weird story about that that's in my first book. When I was 3 years old, my dad and mom took me to a movie. And in the movie, they had one of the old covered wagons go off this high cliff and into the water. Evidently, I took that to heart because when we got home, we lived in a split level, which means you've got half the staircase and then it goes the other way down. And my dad told me, he says, we were sitting there on the couch, him and my mom, and I come ripping around the corner in my little pedal car. And he says, you were just pedaling your ass off as fast as you could. He says, and I looked over and I saw the stairs. I saw you. He says, and I got up and ran over there. But he says, you were already airborne. And I went all the way down. I didn't touch the stairs. I went face first into the landing and got 2 black eyes. And he said, I knew right then what you were going to do. He says, I never had a doubt what you were doing right. And that's been more than a couple of weeks ago, You froze up again, Nick.
Good. We're back.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yep, we're good. We're good. We're back.
Okay, I'm here.
So the fact of you going basically airborne was the start. That's definitely an interesting start.
Yeah. Well, I was like, and it's in the first book too. I'm not trying to sell a book because I don't know if you guys know this, but I give almost all the profits to St. Jude's Hospital off the sale of our T-shirts and my book. So I'm not trying to make any money off the deal. So, but there is another story in there about other stuff I did when I was young. Like my dad, when we lived in Oregon, he had an outdoor picnic, by our house. We had probably quarter of an acre lawn because everybody had more acreage out there. And everybody's out there. And they came by on my Honda 50. I was 13. And I stood up and went through the crowd on the seat of the thing, right? I said, I got a standing ovation from the crowd and a sore ass from my dad later on. So for my efforts.
Jeez, we're gonna have to check out these stories that are in this book.
You got the book. I know you do. I gave one to Jeremy.
I never got one myself, so but I've never forgotten about getting it though. I just haven't really had the chance of getting it.
I know the guy that could send you one.
That would be awesome.
That's me. Just send me your address. Just send me your address on Messenger. I'll send you one.
Sweet. I appreciate that. So
I give a lot of them away.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were going to ask something. Well, that actually just leads me now to another question. So what was exactly the first movie that you ever worked on involving stunt work?
That was a Chuck Norris movie. It was called Lone Wolf McQuade. And I played one of the outlaws at the start. And I have the machine gun on him. Me and John Barrett are holding him. And the head bad guy's in front of him, teasing him. And he kicks the head bad guy, and the head bad guy falls down.
Mm-hmm.
And he flips me over, and he beats up the other guy. And I'm on my hands and knees trying to get back to the machine gun. He kicks me in the face. I go flying out of the screen. He picks up the machine gun and kills everybody with the machine gun. So,
wow.
so actually, the real, moral to this story is, don't have me as one of your bad guys. It's not going to end well. And actually, that's where I met Kane, was on that movie.
Honest.
Yeah, that was a long time ago,
Oh,
1980.
yep, we're back. Okay. Wow. All right. Rick, I'm actually going to be back in just like about 2 minutes. Ricky's just going to take over.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you have anything you want to ask, go right ahead. I'll be right back.
All righty.
So I just got to. Yeah. So Ricky will take over.
Yeah, I'll take over.
Thanks, Rick.
So we got Ricky,
Anybody
Nick, and Rick.
watching, if you have any comments, I'm Ricky. It says I'm Nick Millet right now, but I'll play the role of Nick. The internet's not so good here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Cool.
Well, let me tell you a little something about Scotland.
All right.
I've been going to Scotland now for, I believe, 7 years, and I go for a month every year. And I go to some of the most haunted places in the world to go ghost hunting. I mean, and then I've been over to Ireland and England. And I got to tell you, the difference between the UK and the United States is the intensity of the hauntings. The hauntings are so much stronger in the UK than they are in the United States. I mean, it's very rare when you go to a haunted location and you get shut out. So that's one of the reasons I love going there, because when you ghost hunt, you got a real good chance of talking to a ghost.
We have lost signal again. I apologize, everybody.
Do you think we should just try this another day?
There we go. We're losing. We're in and out really bad with the signal here.
No, what I was saying,
Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, but it looks like you keep freezing and clicking and everything else. Do you guys think we should do this another day? Because there's so much freezing, and
I think that'd be best.
Because you guys are in a tough location.
Yeah, I think that would be best, honestly.
To try and broadcast,
right?
And I'm pretty sure the people trying to listen are having a hard time following along. So if you guys just want to do this another day, I'm fine with it.
That's cool. Yeah. I guess I can have Nick reach out to you and.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and end this. Everybody tune in. I'll make sure Nick keeps everybody tuned in, and we'll get this rescheduled. I'll go ahead and end it.